All right, so that video cut off a little bit. So I'll go over our story's parts of the plot. We can say the exposition will be here, and the exposition of a story is when we meet our main character, we get our setting, and we also get our inkling of the conflict here. So we would have our main character, setting, and conflict. So for this story, the conflict isn't a very serious conflict, right? If we go down, we can probably say our rising action will begin right around here, where we learn that someone has cleaned up her mess and she would like to know who it is. So we might say our rising action begins right around here, where our events of the plot start to begin. So the events of our plot is basically just what happens. So we've learned that the family, Mary Jane, has a cat. And we then start to maybe build our mystery here that Smokey likes to take things. And we could say our climax of the story, when our mystery is finally solved or about to be solved, right before it's about to be solved, Mary Jane's going to go look and see if the cat has taken anything. So this could be our climax. And then the falling action, that's usually just when things are wrapped up. We could say the falling action here is Smokey has taken several things maybe, and they're all finding things. And then we could say our resolution is she thanks Smokey and she has a new idea to bring to her teacher. That would be our very end. All right, so now we'll look at our questions here. Which detail would be most important to include in a summary of the story? Mary Jane is bringing her art project to school that day. Mary Jane notices that her art leftovers are gone from the table. Mary Jane thanks her mother for cleaning the table. Mary Jane plans to eat some eggs and bacon for breakfast. All right, so if we're looking for the most important things to include in a summary, we could say if Mary Jane ate something else for breakfast, the story really wouldn't have changed, so it can't be D. Her thanking her mother, she could have did that or not did that, and it still could have been the same type of story, right? Mary Jane is bringing her art project to school that day. She's definitely going to bring her art project to school that day, but she could really need to bring it tomorrow or even the day after. No matter what, she has to notice that the leftovers from her project are on the table. Because if she didn't notice the leftovers gone, we wouldn't have even had a story, right? Because the story is her looking for what happened to her scraps. So it has to be B. If that wasn't there, if her leftovers were there, then she wouldn't have looked for anything. So it's got to be B. All right. So next one. Why is paragraph 17 important to the rest of the story? So let's go to paragraph 17 first. And we have, he would have hid them behind the big ugly brown chair in the living room. All right. So that's going to tell us it introduces Smokey's favorite piece of furniture. It introduces a conflict between Josh and his mother. It suggests that Josh knows where Smokey hides. It gives the information that helps Jane solve the problem. All right, so now, for one like this, we could say that it is Smokey's favorite piece of furniture, right? But we want to know how it's important to the rest of the story. So even though it might be Smokey's favorite thing, that wouldn't really have to do with our story. It kind of does, and for B, it introduces a conflict between Josh and his mother. I wouldn't really say they had a conflict there. They were kind of joking. It suggests that Josh knows where Smokey hides. This answer choice doesn't really fit because Smokey they're not looking for Smokey. He was right there. They're looking for where he put stuff. So now we have answer choice D. It gives information that helps Mary Jane solve the problem. This would be our answer choice because the story is about Mary Jane solving her problem or conflict. So paragraph 17 is important to our story because every story would need this problem, and that's what's going to solve the problem. So for 14s, it has to be D. They're asking us how it develops our story. Read these sentences from paragraph 19. She hopped out of her seat and ran into the next room. With a grunt, she slowly pulled out the heavy chair. Which words give the best clue for why Mary Jane grunts? Hopped out, ran into, she slowly, heavy chair. We might want to say, if somebody's grunting, usually they're like, I don't know, trying to pick something up. So for this one, it has to be the heavy chair. Grunting is going to be like a noise that people make when they're doing something physically and it's like hard, like weightlifting or something. Which item suggests that Smokey has been taking things for a long period of time? Mary Jane's hair ribbon, bits of tissue paper, Josh's piece of bacon, broken ice pop sticks. And then for this one, if we went back, all of these items she was looking for that very day. So for this one, it has to be her hair ribbons, right? And if we went back, you always want to make sure that you double check, right? We have leftover and my missing hair ribbons. So those would be something that she has been missing for a long time, not just that day. What does paragraph 22 most likely show about Mary Jane? She is creative. She is an excellent student. She enjoys art class. She spends a lot of time on her assignments. All right, we got to go back to 22. My assignment was to recycle everyday objects and make an art project out of them. I recycled, painted the ice pop sticks, and I reused the colored tissue. The ice pop sticks are the borders, and the color tissued paper is the glass. All right. So she was doing a lot of things with these reused items. We could say she's an excellent student because she is doing all this work. She does seem like she enjoys it. And she does seem like it doesn't exactly say she's spending a lot of time though, right? But no matter what for this, we can definitely say if she was able to recycle, paint, reuse the colored, and make stained glass window, that's pretty fancy, right? So we could say this has to be her creativity. So this one, yes, she could be an excellent student and enjoy art, but the author here wants us to know that she is creative. What did Mary Jane make for her art project? A sheet of glass with colored tissue, a fancy window with ice pop sticks and colored tissue paper, a tiny home with ice pop sticks and colored tissue, a bed frame with ice pop sticks. And if we go look back, let's see. She has her scraps. My stuff is here. Here are the scraps. Wait, Smokey made the bed. Wait. This is what Mary Jane made for her art project. If we have here, we want to try to find where she says. She does have a stained glass window, and the borders and the colored paper is the glass. She might have said this up top. Wait. She wakes up excited, and everything is gone. This is her art project, but she didn't say it yet. And for this one, we know that she made this stained glass window, right? So wait, a sheet of glass, a fancy window, A tiny home or a bed frame? This one, a fancy window. That's what a stained glass window would be. So they're kind of trying to trick us here because technically she couldn't have made a sheet of glass, right? So she made a stained glass window would be those windows that might be at churches that would have like pictures in them. So she didn't actually make glass because that would be really hard to do. She would need like a whole like a glass melter kind of thing. So she made it look like the glass. So for this one, it has to be B because she made a fancy window, aka stained glass window. And those would be the questions for Mary Jane and her recycled sticks.